Welcome back, humor consumers, to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
And I'm Catherine, co-host and bestie.
Good morning, bestie.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good enough.
Good enough is
No,
good.
I'm good.
Hey, it's okay.
You're good too.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's okay to be good enough.
Yeah,
It's
gonna
better
have
than
to be.
some other things that you could be.
Yeah, it's better than that Blue Monday.
Yeah, we had Blue Monday this week.
Yeah.
It turned out it was pretty blue.
It did seem pretty blue.
Sorry.
It wasn't black, but
yeah.
But today's great.
It is. It is. And we're recording this in January 2023, and it's kind of grayish. It's been grayish over the last few weeks.
Yes.
It's tough to deal with, but we're sipping our coffee out of our bee cups that I have.
And they look
They're
so
cartoony.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
And they look so springy.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll take a picture of our cups and put it out on the show notes.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. I'll do that. This is episode number 108.
Mm-hmm.
And the title of today's episode is Side Hustles for Women Over 50.
Exciting.
Yeah. We're women and we're over 50.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to do a review of some interesting side hustles that Catherine came upon. We're going to talk about what we've learned, from the topic of just side hustles. And really, we have the one episode of the different jobs that we've had. Mm-hmm. That is a funny episode.
Oh.
I don't remember what number it is, but if you go through our episode list and you find, I don't even know what we called it, our different jobs or various jobs or something.
I don't recall
But between the two of us, we've had over 40 jobs. And it's just funny to go through the list of all the side hustles that we've had, navigating the waters of, first of all, growing up, and then teenage years, and then early adulthood, and then marriage and kids, and navigating the kids, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes I'll be, driving along, and for some reason I'll think about a job I've had for whatever reason.
And you say, I forgot to put it on the list.
Yeah, and I do think to myself, did I mention that? Because that was a short gig.
Yeah. And sometimes that's how life is, especially for women in many respects. If we're navigating different things, whether it's taking care of children or in your case today now is taking care of your mom, your parent. So there's different things that you have to do. Okay, and then finally, we're going to talk about, what we learned from it, what we can take away. And our hope is that you'll be inspired yourself from today's episode.
Right.
To either seek out, what is a side hustle if you're in need of one, or if you just want one.
Yeah.
Maybe you want one and need one, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need things, but we don't really want. And other times it's reversed.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to all that, and then of course we have scripture at the end. So stay tuned. And we're on a time budget today because Catherine has to leave.
Yeah. I thought you had something as well.
I do, but my thing isn't until later this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but Catherine has to get to physical therapy, right?
I do for
your
my knee.
Yeah,
that's
because
healing.
of your side hustle.
Because right. Well,
she did.
It wasn't supposed to be a side hustle. It was supposed to be a job.
She worked for the post office, and every time she had to get out of the mail truck to deliver something, you twisted your knee.
Yes.
Wah.
It was the way in which I would get down, support myself, turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was supposed to be a career.
Yeah. Well, it turned out to not be.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well, let's jump in. What have you got over there, Catherine, in your little pile of notes?
I have settled on one article.
Yeah.
And it's from Side Hustle Nation. So they are specifically for side hustles.
That's a nice title.
It is.
Side Hustle Nation.
It is. And when I was Googling, I put in most lucrative and most successful side hustles for women over 50. And this was one of them that came up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's funny, when I'm reviewing all of these different sites, a lot of them are similar for the side hustles.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I wouldn't want to do that. Wouldn't want to do that. I'm not qualified for that. And then there were a couple that gave me butterflies. Like, I would like to move forward with. I've already dabbled in the ones that excited me.
Oh,
and
awesome. I can't wait to hear about the butterfly ones.
Yeah. Well, you probably know what they are.
Okay.
Okay. The first one that pops up is selling printables on Etsy. And what that is when, for example, if you're looking for, like at Christmas time, I was looking for a game to play with our whole family. And someone had already created, like, say, the saran wrap ball of goodies. And what it is, they wrote out the instructions, how to play the game, how to make it, and make it a success.
But you have to buy that?
I think you get the money from the advertisers.
Oh, on Etsy?
Yes. On
Okay.
Etsy. They're automatically delivered digital downloads called printables.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to how do you make money doing it? Because did you purchase something for the saran wrap game, or you just looked at it?
I just looked at it, but there was a version of it that I could download and print, and I did not pay for it.
Okay.
But I do know that they offered that.
Okay.
Why somebody would pay for it, I don't know.
Well, maybe
But
there's a method to the madness.
There is. And for example, there is this person that does a bachelorette party scavenger hunt.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And this person, her best-selling product was that, and it's earned her over $1,700, I guess.
Nice.
For that one thing. And I don't know over what time period that is, but it's a thing. And
Well, look into it, friends. If you're into, printables, look into it.
Yeah, and it says here that this particular gal, her printables business is earning $10,000 a month.
Wow.
Not bad for a side hustle, especially.
Well, the nice thing about something like that is you make it once and you sell it multiple times. It's different than like a service that you provide. Like if you're cleaning houses, you have to clean that house every time.
And speaking of that,
Yes.
when I was, looking for these things that are side hustles, not once was a cleaning service mentioned, but that is something that working women today, and even maybe men who are single, they need those services, but that wasn't on there. And I know a couple of people who have done that.
Yeah.
And have made it not a side hustle, but their career. And they've done pretty well.
The nice thing about cleaning is that you do need it periodically, like
offices need it.
Yeah. And I have always, I did clean houses when I was in college.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I enjoyed it. I would put on music and I just enjoyed the routine of it. And of course I was a college student, so I didn't have a house of my own.
Yeah.
Well, once I got a house of my own, I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah. I'm laughing. I'm smiling because I'm remembering when I was working at an office and a couple of the gals and I were talking about how distracting it was. We used to have these cleaning ladies that came while we were working.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. They would jump while they were cleaning the walls. So they would take the rag in the hand, wipe down the walls and go, wee, like, just wave one arm up in the air and wipe the wall.
Like for fun?
No, it was like that was their way of wiping down the walls. They jump and wave their arm like a big gigantic wave while we were working. It was just...
Well, and those are things to consider. So there's residential cleaning, there's commercial cleaning, there's window cleaning, there's gutter cleaning, there's seasonal cleaning, there's all kinds of cleaning if you enjoy cleaning. Or you can detail cars if that's your bag.
Yeah, that is one too, yes.
Oh, I wonder if there's a service out there that would just do the bathroom.
Yeah.
I
bet you there is.
Because what if somebody is like, you know what, I don't mind doing the vacuuming and dusting in this house, but I would love it if somebody would come in and just do my bathroom.
Are you speaking for yourself?
I don't know. I mean, personally, I have always liked doing bathrooms until I had 5 boys. And then their bathroom, I no longer liked it. They robbed me of the joy of cleaning a bathroom.
I don't like doing I don't like doing the shower and the tub.
There's something satisfying for me about it. I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, come over. Do mine.
Let's move on. Move on. What's the next thing?
An email newsletter.
Okay.
And this is interesting. I wanted to share this with you. Are you on the website too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see it.
Yeah. Despite the rise and possibly fall of social media, email is what's that word?
Juggernaut.
And it is a daily communication tool for billions of people worldwide, and no social channel can rival its return on investment.
Well, that's because it goes right into the inbox.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. That'd be good for you.
Yeah, right.
I saw some other ones on a different site as well that were greeting card writers. They're looking for funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're looking for funny content.
Interesting.
Yeah, it takes a long time for them to review it and then to get paid. But if it's a side hustle, so what?
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blogging. And you and I talked about that in the car
did.
yesterday on our little adventure. And you talked about how you have to put a lot of time into it. And
you do. I mean, with blogging or vlogging, or even these email newsletter, like a marketing newsletter, if you're trying to build like a community of sorts, which is what we're doing here with the Life Happens Laugh Anyway community.
Right.
We're targeting, it's typically women. It's basically us, women who are, their kids are pretty much grown for the most part, or they're in the middle of it. Like, I love it that we have some moms that comment to us like, and they're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And it's just, anyway.
I noticed, by the way, that podcasting was not on any of these side hustle things.
Well, here's what I'm getting at with all of this kind of community building. It does take effort.
Yeah.
And it has to be the content that you're putting out needs to be good and something that people enjoy, they look forward to. So it's like it says here in this article that this woman managed to grow to about $6,000 a month in revenue, which is great. But I am here to tell you that is something that she earned. She earned, and it took time, and it maybe even took money. Like maybe she had to advertise her newsletter.
Yeah, and for a side hustle, I think that side hustle implies that you already have something else. So if you're putting in a lot of time like that almost sounds, but I guess it begins as something on the side and can grow. Yeah.
And I don't want to put down anybody's hopes and dreams of earning $6,000 a month with a blog, but just to be realistic about it and look at, okay, well, how do we start it? How do we grow it? And then how do we get money out of it? Monetize it.
Yeah. Right.
The only way you're going to get money out of it is by selling a product or a service. Those are the only two ways. Or getting like a donation, like our Patreons. By the way, this episode is sponsored by...
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to mention our sponsors, Catherine.
We did forget.
Yeah. Well, we have Puffin. It's our husbands, Ron and Kenny. Puffin and Pooh. No, Muffin. Muffin and Pooh, which makes Puffin.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry.
And then we have, Ron again.
I've noticed that Pooh is not a sponsor yet, Catherine.
Right.
What is going on with him?
Confession. Kenny just mentioned to me yesterday because I showed him our little video that we made yesterday,
fun.
and I mentioned how it's for our Patreons.
Yeah.
And then Kenny said something like, well, will I be getting it? Well, he thought I signed him up.
Oh, come on, girl.
I know. I'm sorry.
Procrastination. We have got to get to that episode.
We do. Yeah.
Anyway, we offer people the opportunity to support what we're doing through Patreon at a donation of only $5 a month. And we have just started making these funny videos that we're sending out to that community. So if you want to be in on that,
and yesterday's was a real doozy. It was
I laughed so hard.
Turned out to be so funny because I made a mistake recording, and then when I realized it, you just have to be a patron to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Patreon or patron?
Well, it's both.
It's both.
It's called Patreon.
Yeah, because that's the brand.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you are a patron, which is like a person that is on there supporting. We call you humor contributors.
Yeah.
If you cross over from humor consumer to humor contributor. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing.
The next one is real estate. And I don't know how that could be a side hustle unless you're really ambitious, I guess. But
I think it could be a side hustle because of its flexibility. So it could be part-time.
Yeah. I think to be real successful, you got to put a lot of time into that.
Yeah.
Okay. Flea market flipping.
Fun.
Now, that sounds very fun to me. I have considered it. I haven't actually done it. A little bit.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of dabbling with that.
It is fun. It's fun because the hunt is fun. Yesterday, before we created our video for our patrons on Patreon, our humor contributors, we had stopped at Goodwill. And then I bought a tree, a ficus tree.
Yes.
That I want. I really love it.
Yeah, it's nice.
It looks to me like it's new, like it's new or newish, like it's modern.
Right.
And
it's not one of those 80s,
covered in dust.
90s ones. What's nice about it, too, is that it's not a single trunk. It's got that, I think it had 3 braided trunks. So
the tree had to fit in my car, which is small, and it's a 6.5-foot tree, and I wasn't sure it would fit, and all this stuff. Anyway, the hunt of the tree, I actually had it on my list of things that I wanted to get.
Right.
And then there it is.
That's what's so exciting about when we go thrifting.
Yes,
because
it is.
we do have certain things
that we're looking for.
And it's hit or miss. And when you hit, you're like, whoa, wow.
I know.
Like the sky's parted.
And then getting it in the trunk was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then we recorded our video with the tree in the trunk, and the branches were kind of near our heads.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Mm-hmm. All right. What's the next one?
Custom cookies.
Oh, I see this a lot on Facebook.
I do too. And this particular one was on a lot of different side hustle suggestions that have been successful for people.
If you like to bake and you can make these, they're really works of art.
They are.
Your cousin does it.
Aspen.
I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're gorgeous. I don't know like how hard they are to make, but they look like a little artwork.
I know. And people must not be worried about buying from another person's home. You know how that's a thing with the school districts and things. You can't bring home baked goods anymore and things like that. But this is, I guess, okay.
Okay.
They have a virtual assistant service, and basically it's not like your typical administrative assistant type thing because it's online. And it does say that you can earn $15.50 per hour plus more.
Nice.
Working from home. Yeah. I was thinking about Kim, our friend Kim, and her side hustle is really cool because it's a translation service for the medical field, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a company that what they do is they provide translators for individuals who need it when, I don't know if it's only medical or mostly medical, but whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Our friend coordinates she's like the conduit between the two parties.
Right.
You have the person who speaks whatever language they speak, but it's not English. And you have the doctor or whatever. So she provides a translator between the two. Yeah. It is cool. And it's completely online, remote.
Yeah. And the person, if I remember right, that started this, they were in a position where they needed a translator quickly because of, I think, some kind of emergency that popped up. Medically.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah. So then someone said, you know what?
Here you go.
This is a need.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bookkeeping. Boring.
Well, if you love bookkeeping.
If you love it, yes.
Some people do. And thank God for them.
It's funny that I groaned when I said that, but I kind of do like it in terms of when I used to
balance a checkbook,
reconcile everything. I love to be neat and tidy and to the penny and all of that. But that was just for myself.
Ron did the same thing. Mm-hmm. My husband.
Yeah.
You and my husband are very similar. That's probably why you're my bestie. You're my bestie female friend, and he's my bestie male.
Right.
And me, I would just go, well, call the bank and find out how much money is in there. How much money is in there?
It's not accurate, though, because there are things that haven't gone through yet.
Who cares? I mean, that's why I
Muffin cares.
Right. Yeah. But that's why I love now. Now people don't balance their checkbook. They don't. They never do now because you don't have to because the money is instantaneously in and out.
It's not that instantaneous. There are things that are pending.
It's close enough. Yeah. It'll tell you. It'll tell you
she
pending.
Likes fuzzy math.
It works for me.
That's okay. Ron does it.
Well, that's why he is necessary.
Yes.
Yes, he better stay relevant. Don't be teaching me how to do that by myself.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
All right, keep rolling.
The next one is mobile notary service. Yeah.
Interesting.
Appointments typically pay $75 to $150. And this person in particular that they're highlighting, she is making up to $8,000 a month as a part-time loan signing agent. So in addition to being a notary person, she processes loan documents
Mortgages.
and things like that.
Yawn. Okay. Move on.
A local Facebook group. And I think this is when someone starts up a community blog. I think it's something.
It's kind of like Angie's List where you're recommending local services.
Yeah, I was just going to say, or even the marketplace things, I think.
But
would fall under that.
Right, but it's monetized by, it says here, sponsorships and local businesses. So to me, it's more than just a local Facebook group as it's described.
Yeah.
It's turning it into a business. So you have to go to these people and go, look, I have 100,000 people in my local Facebook group for Chicago or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you want to be the go-to realtor in Chicago, I'll put you on here for $1,000, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're in sales. It's a sales thing.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay.
True. The next one is handcrafted jewelry. And this one, to this day, even though I've been doing this as a side thing on and off for years, this one I do find to be exciting because I like to be creative. I like to make my own, rules and things like that in terms of when I want to do it.
Yeah. And you know, our pastor's wife, Jen.
Yes.
Okay. She does silversmithing, I think they call it. And she makes really
nice, beautiful,
gorgeous,
classy.
Yeah. And she does a social media presence. She has an Instagram thing and she has quite a few followers on there. So it's really a cool side hustle. So if you're into jewelry and you like jewelry, and we had talked to Jen about how did you get started and all of that? And she said it was a long time ago and somebody showed her how to do it and then it evolved from there. But if your interest is in this art form, you can turn it into a fun little side hustle.
You can. And I'll talk about that when we get to the next segment, what we've learned from, our little side hustles.
Well, look at the next one. Pet waste.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I'm glad this is on here because I have seen this before and I can't remember the funny little wording that people have used for this business. But
She's a pooper scooper. That's what she is.
Yeah, I know.
She scoops poop.
Right.
Okay.
But I have seen on Vans a clever name for their business.
Okay.
And I can't recall what it was because, I don't know, it was a while ago. But yeah, they come and they will pick up your animal's waste.
There you go. When it comes to pets, it seems like people have the money is oftentimes like, whatever it costs,
Well, yeah, or they're not budgeting. We're going to talk about budgeting too. Okay, delivery gigs. Now,
That's a big one.
Know, we've heard of these things like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, I think is one. And these are really taking off. And there's a lot of people making money. My niece, she does one of these. I don't know if it's Shipped or which one she does. But she was doing it as a side hustle. And yeah,
Here's what I love about these is that, especially for women, for whatever reason, and I suppose some men too, but if you need flexibility, these are flexible.
These are, I have to say.
Yes.
Okay, I was highly insulted.
Why?
But I applied for one of these. I don't know if it was DoorDash. It was one of them. And you had to provide a picture of yourself and I don't know if you had to do a description, but a picture.
And they rejected you?
They rejected me.
Because of your photo? No, it can't be.
I can't recall what they had responded, but the lasting impression I got was that it was the picture.
Oh, wow.
It's like, moi?
No.
What's wrong?
I have heard of them asking what kind of car you drive.
Yes, I've done that too.
And I know that Amazon has a thing called Amazon Flex.
And that's on one of these, yeah.
It's similar to DoorDash, Uber Eats, but you're delivering Amazon for Amazon. And somehow you drive into their facility and they put the stuff in your car. So your car has to be a certain size.
And that's there are some USPS postal positions like that as well. UPS does it. I have submitted my car for some of those things. They want to make sure that your car doesn't have a bunch of obnoxious bumper stickers, things like that. I think also that there's proof that you have a car, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, they're looking for things like that, because why would they want their delivery person to have something really obnoxious on their car? Right. You can sell an online course.
Neat.
Yeah. And there are so many things to teach. It's endless.
I think that the best advice that I would give to our listeners about that in terms of selling an online course would be, think about what you're an expert at. Because if you're 50 years old, you're an expert at something.
Yes.
What have you been doing? Yeah. Like, are you an expert cleaner of, let's say, cast iron skillets? Maybe your expertise is you've cleaned grandma's cast iron skillet 5 nights a week for the last 20 years, and your skillet is seasoned perfectly. There is not a food that you cannot make in that skillet.
There's a certain set of skills that only some people have.
Right. But I'm saying because of the internet and because of technology and the way in which it is so quickly transported from one person to another, if you have a certain set of skills, as you said, you can put it down into a course and then sell it.
I've been meaning to do online a course on how to paint.
Why don't you
furniture.
do that?
I know. I've been kicking around the idea for years, and I just haven't.
Up next, procrastination. Come on, Catherine. What did Okay.
I know.
Side note.
Yes.
We prayed, as we do every single time before we launch a podcast. And what did we pray?
We prayed that we would either be re-inspired ourselves or inspired, and that others would be inspired.
Right.
I know. Yeah.
So what I see in you right now is inspiration to do it. You've been thinking about it. And Catherine is a phenomenal painter.
I am.
You are. You have the skill and the knowledge. And like when things come up, you know how to say, ain't no thing. You just got to do this or that.
Right. And the thing is, in this case, it really isn't procrastination. What it is I cannot stand the sound of my voice or see myself on video.
Then put it in writing. Instead. Instead of creating a video, do one of these printable things like we started out with.
Well, yeah, maybe that part is procrastination. Yeah.
Step 1 is do this. And she knows,
it'll be printable.
Like if you find a dresser at a thrift store that has an odor to it, she says, ain't no thing. You just got to do this and this and this and this to seal it and all that. And if you find one that doesn't have a bottom, ain't no thing. You just have to cut a board and slide it in and done.
Yeah. Right.
All the stuff that I've watched you do. Because I have painted with Catherine occasionally. We've done a few projects together, but I let her do all the expertise stuff. And I'm sort of the grunt girl. Like, okay, give me the sandpaper. I can sand.
Yeah.
And painting cabinets. There are so many people. Like you could do one course on painting a piece of furniture and another one on painting kitchen cabinets, because there are certain things that you want to consider when it comes to a kitchen, which is so,
this is very true. Well, maybe I will. And I am amazed when I do hear other people, my own daughters, they're like, I follow so-and-so on, XYZ, how to put on makeup or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, you do that? Only because I don't follow anybody. And so to imagine that just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But I do know people do that.
Okay. But the beautiful thing about it is it's an extraction of the knowledge that you have, right? You're just extracting it out of your brain. You're putting it into something that can be sold online.
Yeah.
Whether it's a printable or a video or an audio, whatever it is, you're putting it as something that can be sold. And you only have to create it one time.
Yes.
And then you can sell it millions of times.
Yeah. Funny because I did not think when I was preparing for this episode, I did not think about that I should
make
not at
commitment.
That time. I had thought of it in the past, but okay. Now next for you.
Oh, here we go. Now it's on me.
Now it's on you.
Yeah.
Freelance writing.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Skills you already have, and not just, you don't just have it. I mean, you're really good at it.
Thank you.
I love your writing style.
It's very conversational.
It's very, yeah. I like it.
I just got inspired myself because I really do enjoy writing copy. I've written a bunch of copy in the past for my own self, like for my website and for the various things that I do. But I also, in years past, I wrote advertising headlines and copy for a business that I owned, which was a newsletter that went around to different coffee shops. And I loved the process of thinking about, okay, this is a car dealership. What headline? I loved that process. And I was pretty good at it.
You are very good at it.
Yeah.
I love your writing style.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been inspired. I've been inspired. So I'm going to have to act on that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Accountability.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to it, and you hold me to it.
I will.
Okay. So what are we going to do? Next time we record, I'm going to ask you, did you make steps forward with creating a course?
Okay.
And you're going to ask me, did I make steps forward for freelance writing? Okay,
deal.
done. Takes a village, people. All right.
Village people.
We need to roll.
I know.
You
I'm
have
looking
to go.
at the time. I know. Consumer research is one. And that's basically when it's online sampling things. But it's
like
not.
You're a human guinea pig type of thing.
Yeah.
Like
but
you're giving your opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's not the same as survey apps.
Oh, okay.
It is different. It is market research. And it's they're looking for in this particular one, some of the highest paying studies target employees in specific roles, and it's a $20 billion market. So,
for that one and the next one, for consumer research as well as survey apps, those and we're going to put this link in the show notes so that you can go to it yourself. If these things interest you, you'll find something that you'll qualify for, because they have a very thorough screening process for very specifically what they're looking for, and you'll find something.
True. You can have a consulting side gig.
I like that.
Yeah. Another thing where if you have an expertise or a certain set of skills, you can pass it on to someone else. Oh, this is one that I thought I would love that. This is, you can be a guided...
tour guide?
Yes, you can be a tour guide.
Like in your local area?
Yeah.
Like for visitors?
Yeah, but it's more for when you live in an area in which one would want to tour.
Not Peatone, Illinois.
No.
When you come to Peatone, Illinois,
we're going to
show you around.
Kankakee River.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. After school programs. I thought this was pretty good too. Yeah. And because you could teach kids how to do certain crafts and things like that. And you could hook up with the school and kind of plug in with them and get some recommendations, things like that.
That's a real need for parents that work.
Yep.
So, and I do believe that our kids really could benefit from some kind of creative after school something.
Yeah. Kids are pretty restless.
Yeah.
And they want to do something.
Art or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't understand this one.
What's OutSchool?
Yeah, teaching on OutSchool. Okay.
Well, you have to check it out. I mean, there's a lot of, especially since the pandemic, there's a lot of homeschooling going on via the computer.
Right.
So maybe that has something to do with that. By the way, there's also a substitute teaching that one could do.
Yes, and that
as a
was
side
on,
hustle.
That was on another one too, right? Okay, mystery shopping, which is also like secret shopper.
Yeah.
And you are kind of undercover.
I think that would be
called
so
field
fun.
agent, which I think is a fancy word for you're just a spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you write up reports and things like that. YouTube host. I think you've got to put a lot of work into that too.
You have to be consistent, and you have to follow a bunch of loops and hoops that YouTube puts out. And the other thing you have to be mindful of if you're trying to build an income via social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of them, they control your destiny. So you
Yeah.
have to be mindful of that. They could shut down your page accidentally or on purpose for any reason.
Speaking from experience.
Yes. Just happened to me.
Yes.
Even though my page only had total 5,000 followers from my personal and my comedy page, but it had to be shut down because I got hacked.
Maddening.
Crazy.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, what else?
Get paid to go on dates.
Ooh.
I thought that was...
Isn't that the world's oldest profession?
I watch so much crime, or
Okay.
had been, that I thought, that does not sound safe.
It doesn't.
You get reimbursed for time and effort it takes to prepare for a date.
No, I would not do that.
No.
There's no way.
No.
I would not recommend that.
I wouldn't either, but
Why
it's
did
on
you?
here.
Why did you mention it?
Because it's on the list.
Okay.
It's on the list. Okay, I'm just gonna say real quick some funny ones that I saw on a different website.
Mm-hmm.
Wash and fold laundry service.
Oh, nice.
You can wash and fold other people's laundry because people do not want to do it. Like,
nice.
You hate laundry, but I mean, I know you won't hire someone to do it, but you wanted to start your own Christian nude camp.
Yes.
And what were you going to call it?
Adam and Eve's and no leaves.
It's in her comedy act. You'll have to
Love it.
check it out. You can be someone's professional friend.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
Say it again. How does it work?
You just show up with the person that hires you and you are paid to be that person's friend for whatever reason. It maybe the person wants to look good. I've seen movies where they've hired a professional friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Before we wrap, because we have 4 minutes and you got to leave.
And we said we were going to tell you what we learned from it. Maybe we'll put it on a addendum or put it in the show notes.
I think we can sum it up real quick.
Yeah.
All right. One thing I wanted to say is in any of these side hustles, if you're going to do a side hustle, first of all, run through your budget and do some budgeting.
Yeah.
Before you start looking at how can I make more money, figure out how can you keep the money that you already have.
So you don't have to do the side hustle if you don't want to.
Well, I just think it's a good idea in general.
Yeah.
To be disciplined. And I do think that there's so many resources out there for budgeting. Dave Ramsey is a huge resource for that. And then the other thing I would say is if it's going to be a side hustle, look into what you're passionate about so that you can have fun and you can feel purposeful. Okay, so there's that. Yeah. What did you learn from this episode, Catherine?
Well, I learned that it does take time and that sometimes, I would say this, when you have a passion that you love to do and you turn it into a hobby business or a side hustle, sometimes it does take away the fun of it and the love for it.
Because now you have to do it instead of just wanting to do it.
Yeah, sometimes. When you're commissioned out for something that you love to do, it can become sometimes overwhelming. But I would say, don't let that stop you if you really do want to go down that avenue.
Yeah, give it a try.
But it is what I learned, that sometimes when I'm really under pressure to get it, especially if I'm commissioned out by someone.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit different than when I just make it and sell it at maybe different stores or...
Yeah, the other thing that you have to really think about is pricing because you 100% need to factor in what's the going rate for this widget or product or service, what's the going rate, and how much time is involved in creating this thing. And you have to price accordingly. Mm-hmm. Okay, anything else that you learned?
Well, that's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Because of time.
Right. We have 1 minute. Proverbs 31 verses 13 through 18 is our go-to scripture for today. She selects wool and flax. She works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. She's a hard worker.
I love that. God has a lot to say about women and their abilities and their God-given talents. Yeah. And so I just love those scriptures.
Real quick side note, because I see it on my paper, but I forgot to say it. There's a thing called neighbor.com.
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like you can rent out your parking space in your driveway.
Yeah.
You can rent your attic space in your garage.
Or a room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So check that out. It's really cool. And then there's also the Fetch rewards. Tell them about that.
The Fetch.
Fetch.
Well, okay, so that's not a side hustle, but it is. It's an app.
You can save money and make money.
Right. And it's an app that you download. It is called Fetch. And when you scan your receipts that you're already purchasing anyway,
yeah.
And it is everything from mom and pop things. It does not have to be a big box store. You scan it, you get 25 points. If you happen to have something on your receipt that is also one of their bonus products, like let's just say Nabisco or something like that, you earn extra points. The points equal dollars, and you can get. It's so easy to get these points.
Have you redeemed your points?
I haven't yet. I have a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I can redeem them, and I can select any one of gift cards. I don't know for sure if you get actual cash. It doesn't matter. These gift cards are for places where you shop anyway.
Well, look into it, friends.
Yeah.
It's on the App Store. It's called the Fetch app. It's a shopping rewards app.
And you can get points even if it's a receipt that's a return.
Yeah, just check it out.
Yeah.
All right, Catherine has to go to physical therapy now.
I do.
So we got to sign off.
Yes.
Well, you've been listening to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm still comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
I'm still Catherine.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.